Alright guys, good afternoon. How are you all doing today? It's now August the 3rd. It's a Monday. It's a civic holiday here in Canada. So I've got a day off. Actually, most people have a day off, but I'm still going to be working because the market is 24/7 and everlasting and ever changing. So for today's video, we're going to be covering, by the way, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Jay for letting me use his account to give an example of how liquidation works, since he's got a little bit more of a moderate account, we'll say. And the criteria, the conditions for me using his account is that if I'm monitoring it, I'm going to trade on his behalf during this video. So I don't really know what I'm getting into. And I just logged into his account and whatever happens, happens. So let's see some bad trades that he's making. I'm just kidding. So today, well, I am going to trade on his behalf, just letting you know. So today's video, we're going to be covering liquidation, what margin calling is, and we're especially going to cover how flash crash works. And we're going to talk about it mathematically as well, okay? And systematically and logically as well. So let's get into this. The only two things that I have opened are my calculator and TradingView and Binance. So once again, thanks Jay for letting me use your account here. Okay, so what does he have? I told him to keep it about $2,000 a balance in his margin account. Okay, so he's got a margin account right now of, I probably need a mouse for this. It's going to be easier with a mouse. Okay, so I got my mouse here. So let's go over this account first of all to see what the fuck is up. So his risk right now is 1.56. And he's in a ripple position or XRP position. For the negative right here refers to being a short position, okay? And then if you take your, so the math goes like this. See this number right here? This number right there, 5510, refers to your total equity. And then if you go to this little button right there, it says your margin level. That 1.56 that you see is equal to your total asset divided by the total borrowed plus the total accrued interest. So what does that mean? Okay, it means first of all that this right here is your total asset. Okay, and that number is that number right here, it's taken from the fact that your account, okay, was originally worth 2210. Okay, that's what it's referring to, 2210 right there, and roughly there, plus the total value of what this currently is. Okay, does that mean at the time of the buying? So just to give you a quick example of something that's going to make sense is this right here. Okay, let's just say I end up taking this particular number. So right now my risk is at 1.56. Let's say that I take 1993, this number right there, okay, and then I added it to that number, 3505, right? Or actually, no, that's not the best way to do it. Let's just remember this number, 3505. So now let's just say I take 5510 divided by 35, oops, 35, oh, I don't know why it's not clicking on 3505. See my number here, it's about 1.57. Clearly I did something wrong here, so this number's not adding up. 3503, sorry. Then it would have brought it down. So notice that number right there, 1.5. So they're rounding it down in a weird way. So it's about 1.57, okay? So that's how it's derived. This number right there, and then there's interest as well that I'm owing on it, or this person's owing on it rather. I'll just say it's my account, right? Just to make it things simpler since I'm on his. So then that's how that number is derived. It is taking this number right here, okay? And that number is derived from your available balance plus what you borrowed, whether it's a short or a long, at that particular time of the buy or the sell, okay? Does that make sense? I hope that really, really makes sense, okay? So once again, that number there is derived from when your original balance that you had plus the borrowed value of when you were shorting or selling, okay? And then you take that number and then you divide it by the price of what your XRP holding is at that time. So basically it goes like this, okay? It's pretty simple, and I'll keep it simple. So if you have $2,000, right, something like that, and then you borrowed $1,500 worth, now your total equity value is 3,500. Okay, and then you divide that by what it's worth at that time. So if you borrowed that, so then your margin risk level would be at 2.33. So what you don't want is this, basically. Let me just write it out for you. Let me get my notepad out. This might be a tiny bit easier. So then what you don't want is if like it's gonna be a number. This is your account value, basically. So this would be your account, we'll say. I'm just gonna write it here. Your account, like your account size. Okay. Plus borrowed. Oops. Equals 1.1. Okay. That's what it's gonna work out to. And we can easily figure out, okay, what number this needs to be at in order for you to not get liquidated. So if you take, for example, this right here, where this number is A, okay? If you swap that, right, A would be equal to 5510 divided by 1.57. That number right there is equal to 3509, okay? And A is equal to 3509. So this number right here will basically refer to when you can get liquidated. I'll show you guys the breakdown of this particular number right there, okay? So now let's just say, as an example, that this particular number right here was 1.1, which is referring to you need to have an equity, a 10% equity. So if this was 1.1, okay, 1.10 will be specific because of just how they treat, like, which it's basically just choosing the right decimals, okay? And then this was 5510 divided by A. So now if we took A is equal to 5510 divided by 1.1, we'll get 5510 divided by 1.1. We get $5,009, okay? 5,009. Remember that. Okay? So now A is equal to 5,009. But keep in mind that number 5,009, right? This number right there. Okay, remember that. So let's go over this one more time, okay? One more time. So we're taking this number right there. This is your total equity, which is calculated by the original balance that you had, okay, plus the borrowed amount, whether you long or you short, and they're basically added up together, okay? Just put it that way. So that comes up with a number there. So if you take this number, 5510, and then you divide it by the estimated value of what you borrowed, then you're going to get a number. So 3483, remember that. So we're going to take 5510 divided by 3483, and you get 1.58, right? And here, and then I forgot to add in the interest always, but notice that that's 1.57. So it's pretty darn close, okay? You get liquidated at 1.1. So this person on here, they're doing actually a pretty good job, I've got to admit, of maintaining it. Maybe because I also coach him. Doing pretty well there, I got to admit. But in my opinion, that he needs to be adding to his short position right now. Yeah, he needs to be definitely adding to it. So I'm just going to trade for him right now. He started shorting a little bit too low. I told him I was going to short, but you know what? So you go to borrow. Let's just go 1,000 at a time for him. He won't give a shit. He's my good friend. We're going to double top for sure. All right. So now, bam. We're going to add some more to it. Market order, now 12,000. Okay. So now we got 58.27 divided by 3,800. Okay. 58.37 divided by 3,800. Now my risk level is now 1.53. Let's see if it's accurate. Is it at 1.53? 1.52. Good enough. Okay. So if that formula held true, right? So now I'm going to take, so if you take this number here, 58.27, okay, let's do that. So now, once again, we're going to call this R for risk, actually. 58.37, just want to get that right, divided by this right here, 38.02, divided by 38.02, R is equal to 58.37 divided by 02, 1.53, right? The risk is equal to 1.53. And then that's about right here as well. Just confirming, just so you guys know the formula is accurate. 1.52, good enough. I'm just not factoring in interest. So now, if we want to figure out our liquidation price, it's easy, right? Liquidation price is 1.1 is equal to R. So then you take 1.1 is equal to 58.37 divided by, we'll call that A, okay? That swaps around. Now A is equal to 58.37 divided by 1.1. Okay, so now what you're going to get for your liquidation price, 58.37 divided by 1.1. Okay, and then now you got this number. You got this number is 53.06. So now A is equal to 53.06. Okay, but now you got to take that number and divide it by how many tokens you have, so you can calculate the exact price of what it needs to be. Clearly, I've got 12,000 here. Okay, so then you'll take that price right there, 53.06, 53.06 divided by 12,000. There you go. So now you got your liquidation price, 0.442 cents. So now, okay, now that number there, right, is actually equal to 0.442. So this right here is your liquidation price. Does that make sense? I'm just giving you guys a quick and easy example of how to basically calculate your liquidation price, because none of you guys even know. Okay, so then when this starts to get to 1.13, okay, I think it's 1.25 actually, you're going to get margin called. You're going to get like an email or something, I'm guessing. That's what they used to do to me 3-4 years ago. And they would tell you that you're about to get margin called. You got to add more money so you can have a higher number of this. You want that number to be higher, okay? You want this number right there to be higher. And the only way for you to do that is to increase the available right here, the available. And the way that you do that is basically by transferring money from your spot to your margin, or from whatever wallet to your margin. So then you have even more equity. This way it prevents you from being margin called. And the reason that they do this is because you're borrowing from the exchange. This is not your money. You only had 25.27 or whatever, okay? Or sorry, you only had, whatever that account equity was, and the rest is borrowed. So what they want to do is they want to make sure that if you get liquidated, if you get to the point where you're losing really badly, it's their way of saying they're cutting you off to make sure that they're paid back what you owed. Does that make sense so far? So you're paying them back what you're owed, and they do it through a market execution. No matter whether you like it or not, doesn't matter. And a lot of the times they lose money too, believe it or not. And if they lose money, okay, then that's not good for them. So they try to keep it as accurate or as close as possible. So this is kind of how margin calling works. It's a way for the exchange to ensure that you're paying them back and that they're protected and who gives a crap about you. And at the same time, you're gonna get really hurt, from your literally your $5,000 balance or your $2,000 balance. You're gonna have like barely anything left in your account after you get liquidated, depending on where it is. So it's really scary to get liquidated, and you got to make sure that this number on Binance is actually really high. Okay, this is a good number to be at, to be honest. You don't want to be at 1.15, 1.2, 1.25, because then you're just a fucking idiot. If you're a fucking idiot, I'm sorry to call you out, but yeah, I'm gonna call it out. If you were playing with a risk level of 1.15, 1.2 every single trade, you're just asking to get goddamn liquidated, and it's gonna happen. You're gonna ride that shit out if you don't even have the goddamn discipline to actually maintain your risk level here on Binance. Then you sure as hell don't have the discipline to keep to your stop loss, and you sure as hell will ride that shit out and hope for a correction to your way. And eventually what's gonna happen, you're just gonna get liquidated. So the smartest thing to fucking do is to keep this a really high number, and don't even trade. Like, don't even trade with more than half of your balance if you're gonna margin trade, okay? Which still gets you 2/3. If you're going only times 3 or times 5 is still a lot. It's still 2.5. You know what I mean? If you have $1,000, my general rule is this for people: if you have $1,000, don't ever margin trade more than the $500 of the 1,000, because even if you multiplied it by 5, that's still $2,500. That's 2.5 times more than what you have in your account, and you still maintain a risk of over 1.5. So it's amazing. So in my opinion, like, guys, don't, this shit is so risky, man. And I bet a lot of people don't even know the math behind this. And I'm starting to get upset right now because I've been there. I feel like I'm in a lot of people's shoes right now, and I can't even imagine how many people got liquidated. I can't even imagine how many people sit there and think that this is actually free money. And they're just, being able to play with a larger amount. But they don't understand the risk. The more you play of your entire bankroll, the more likely you're going to get liquidated because you got less of a margin for error. So this is the sad reality of liquidations and the sad reality of margin. And guess what? They want you to margin trade. Do you know why? Because they get a large percentage, and the risk is minimal to them. Sometimes they're not going to get their orders filled. You're not going to get your orders filled on time. But at the end of the day, they're the ones making money, not you. The exchange, Binance, doesn't give a shit about you guys, okay? They want you to lose money. This is how they make money. They want you to margin trade more. They're not your friend, okay? The exchange borrowing you money is, don't even ever see them as a friend or as a way to make more money because they're borrowing you money. See them as a foe. They're people who are fucking greedy that's going to borrow you more money that you don't have so you can try to make more, but you'll end up losing more, and you're paying ridiculous interest on it. And this interest, do you guys even know how much? Have you guys ever done the math to see how much money these exchanges make, especially Binance? It's ridiculous, the money that they make. So I just don't want you guys to get caught in this loophole of thinking it's free money that I can play. And it's serious, It doesn't need to go up much for you guys to get wrecked, for you guys to get margin called. It only needs to go up a little bit most of the times, right? But this person just happened to get lucky, okay? And this person, their account only needs to go up 50%, 50, to actually get liquidated. I'm just going to do it. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm just going to sell everything in your account right now to give these guys an example. I'm going to go to another, let's just go play almost the max. A round number, though. Oh God, I hope he doesn't get mad at me for doing this. I'm going to short the rest of his bankroll. So now I'm going to short for, see my risk now? Look at my risk. It's at 1.25. That's how many I had, 25,000. Look at my USDT now. It went up, okay? So now we're gonna do the math all over again so you guys get it. I'm gonna show you guys the liquidation price now, okay? So now we know that we're taking the risk. The risk level is R is equal to, what is it? 99.27. 99.27 divided by that number, 78.78. Okay? That should be 1.25, obviously. 78.78. 99. I don't have a good memory today. 27, 78, 78. 27 divided by 78, 78. Yeah, it's about 1.26, 1.25, right? We're close enough. Okay, we're close enough. So now we're going to change it around. We're going to go, R is 1.1 is equal to R now. Excuse me. 1.1 is equal to R. So now we take 1.1, whatever. It's equal to 99.27 divided by A. So now you just take 99.27 divided by 1.1, and that's what A is equal to. And let's figure out the price here. 99.27 divided by 1.1. Okay, so it's now 90.24. Okay, whoops, I didn't mean to close that. So it's now 90.24. A is equal to 90.24. But A is really, but that number is, you got to divide that by 90.24, divide that by 25,000. Remember, because I got 25,000 coins. So now what does that work out to? 90.24 divided by 25,000. 24 divided by 25,000. It only needs to reach 36 fucking cents. Holy shit! 0.36. That's it. That's the price it needs to get to for you to fucking get liquidated. So let's just take that. 0.36 divided by the price now, which is 0.315. Okay? And that only needs to go up how much? 0.36 divided by 0. I know I don't need to put the 0 in. Whoops. I'm gonna take that call later. It's my girl or one of my friends calling. 0.315. It only needs to go up 15% for you to get liquidated. That's it. 15%. Okay? That's incredible. 15 multiplied by 100. That is only 15%. So if it went up from from 0.315, whatever it is now, to 0.36, you would be entirely liquidated after going up only 15%. And man, you know what, brah? You know what, sis? You know what, girl? You don't even have the discipline to stay with your stop loss. You're already over it. You don't have, you might not even have the math skills right now, or you never thought about it to see it from this level of the risk. Do you even know what the fuck you're getting into when you play your entire bankroll? I bet you don't. Because in your mind, all that you're thinking probably is, I got more money to play. I can make more money too, right? The bigger you play, guys, the more you can win. We all know that. May as well just put everything into it. Your 401ks too. That's obviously pure sarcasm, guys. I'm trying to warn you guys of the risk and how fucking scary it is. And now you know what we're gonna, now that you guys know, okay, how easy it is to get liquidated. There was pretty simple math that I did. And I'm gonna show you guys how flash crashes works. Imagine for a moment where we have 26 letters in the alphabet. So you got, A1, you got A2, you got A3, all the way down to A26. So there's 26. And then now there's, And now we'll start over again. Now we'll go, B27, B28, whatever. We'll just go through all of it. Or you know what? Forget that what I'm saying. And then now we got, A27, got A28. Just keep going down. A29, A30, A40, A50. Keep going, all the way down to where it gets to A97, A98, A100. Okay? Just think of it like this. Okay? Just call those like the people. And now think of it like this, okay? Now you got the number 1, 2, 3, keep going down. Keep going down. 5, blah, blah, blah. Keep going, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The dot means keep going. Now you got like, you're in your 50s, 51. Okay, now all the way down till you count to, 99, 100. Okay? So the left side here refers to people, right? You could be A1. I could be A27. Whatever, people. And on the right-hand side here, we're just going to call it processes, right? So we're going to call that like a queue. So now we're going to think of the market. We're going to look at the order book, okay? And I'm going to explain to you guys how the fuck flash crashes work from that perspective. Yeah, my friend's going to get liquidated. I should probably can't close, his shit here. Whatever, I don't really care. I'm funding his account anyways. I don't have time to manage it for him. So now we're going to look at it like this, okay? So now all of a sudden there's a fucking flash crash. And you got a limit order, okay? There's two sides. Obviously, that's the bidding side. That's the ask side, right? And the price ends up going really low. Okay? And then you got a stop loss, or you got a stop limit, where let's just average price. If it drops down below 100, and you're at 101, okay? You're gonna automatically set up a limit at a price at 95. Okay, that's gonna be your limit. And sorry, you know what? Let's not go short. Let's go long. Okay, and then now the price, it ends up dropping actually to like. Actually, no, that's fine. That's a good way to say it. The price drops like you're. Okay, you bought it at like $105, okay? We'll say that, 105. Okay? And then the price drops to 100 now, and then your stop loss is at $95, okay? So you're automatically going to put in a stop loss for $95, okay? Makes sense? But you happen to be one of the 100 people, you're A97, okay? And let's just say out of the 100 people here, from A01 to A100 or A1 to A100, okay? Between that price there, between these two prices, literally, there happens to be, okay, 99 processes that happens, 99 queues in their system of what needs to be done. Okay? So then, during all this pandemonium and the flash crash, there's 99 things that needs to be done, right? And you happen to be just number 897. That's kind of arbitrary, right? But before all of these 99 processes are done, we're talking about everything up here, right? And then let's say we get to number 80. But by the time we get to, let's just say that all of these guys ahead of you, from 1 to 98, they happen to be putting limit orders in as well. But theirs are above, say, $95, right? So if theirs are above $95, maybe they'll get filled. But by the time that they actually get to you, and it's now your turn in the queue at Q99, you're in line, the price is now at 93 fucking dollars. Actually, it could be at, let's just say $83, okay? Because it just dropped too much, and there's so much lag on the fucking system that by the time it got to queue number 99 of your turn in line to input it into the system, the price has already dropped, okay? It literally dropped from, like literally, Oops. It literally dropped from there to here for 83. So now all of a sudden, you're not going to get filled at 95. Does that kind of make sense? Or I'm not talking about a limit order. Let's just say it was a market execution instead, okay? A market execution. If it was a market execution, it would then automatically execute at 83, right? That would make sense. Oh, I'm explaining this wrong, by the way. When you're in a long position, you don't put a sell like that, right? It actually goes onto this side. So if your stop loss, if you were at 105 and it fell to like say 100, right? Your stop limit, it could be at 95. It'd be on the ask side, okay? It'd be on the ask side, and it may never get filled because of the queuing system, where by the time all of these people, right, because of all the processes and the queue and the waiting in line gets to you, you finally input it into the system here at 95 for the ask side, but we're already at 83. Okay, we're already at 83. So how the heck can your limit order get filled? So this is why a lot of the times people's limit orders don't get filled. Okay, and now I want to explain to you something about the market, the bulls and the bears. Okay, so we got to move up like that, parabolic move up, and then we parabolically move down. Okay, and then we got a table called the shorts, and then we got a table called the longs. Okay, so then, you know, shorts are going up, longs are going up. What happens to the market when longs get liquidated? Well, you got to sell, right? You got to sell, which means the price will go down. So when longs get liquidated, right? So let's just say the market price is going up and up and up and up and up and up. Now let's just say there's two forces that enter, right? Two forces, 1 and 2. Well, 1, the bears end up shorting, and then 2, the longs get liquidated. So bam, it adds even more power to it, okay? So these are basically how flash crashes work, right? And the cool thing about flash crashes is that when longs get liquidated, a lot of them are in they got like a, you know, stop loss, but it's not in the form of a market of a limit order like that one I talked about. It's in the form of a market execution, okay? It's in the form of a market execution. So let's just say that you were in a long from 105, okay? 105 is your long, and then if it falls below 100, that price right there, you'll automatically market execute, right? Market execute it, and you'll just basically sell it, right? You'll basically just sell it at, you know, whatever price it's at. So then if this happens, if we end up getting, so the long table is getting, you know, it's getting margin, right? And the price is going up and up and up and up and up. But all of a sudden bears enter the market, and then you get yourself basically a small dump down, they're market executing, but the big one is added to it, because then the longs are getting liquidated too, because they're giving up. So then now all of a sudden you got this cascade, because the price is so fucking strong, it's setting off what we call basically a chain reaction. So it's a chain reaction of everybody triggering each other's stop loss. Because remember how I told you that we go to the top there? Okay, we go to the top, and it only took 15% of a drop for most people to get liquidated, right? So now as we're getting lower and lower and lower in price, people are getting margin called emails and notifications, and then they eventually get margin called. And then when they get margin called, they liquidate. So this category ends up playing in. The longs get liquidated, so they add even more fuel. They add more fuel to this, and it makes it so strong, because then the price starts dropping more and more and more people get liquidated. And then the price just starts, literally, it's just fucking free fall. And that's how we get these massive drops in the market. It's because of this combination of liquidation, people getting margin called, and they can't stop it, right? If you were in a position, okay, and you got margin called, Binance will automatically market execute your position so that they are guaranteed almost their money back for what they borrowed you. On top of people who actually have stop losses, right, where they're gonna market execute as well. So then if you're in a long position and then the shorts are racking up and the price was first of all steadily going upwards like that, okay, this price is going up, it's looking good, but then the bears start to take control, and then people who are in a long, they start selling, right? So now they become bears on top of bears shorting, on top of bears creating a wall that's really gonna stop you from going upwards. Then people start selling, and then a lot of amateurs, I would only say amateurs get liquidated. I'm sorry to say, they get liquidated, and then the Binance ends up market executing them, and then there's even more fuel that goes down, and then all of a sudden people's stop losses get triggered for the ones that have it in market execution. So then you get this cascade of people just going down, 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 right? And then all of a sudden now, okay, if you come look back here, you might have been stopped out. You might have put your, you might have market execute at 99, just sell it, right? But then that adds even more, and then people below you, when it gets below 83, if it belows 83, their stop loss might be at 82. So then it just keeps going down and down, and you can't stop this. And this shit can happen in literally seconds, or 2 minutes, as you guys saw on Binance. And this can happen because then it just becomes a queuing system. And then all of a sudden you want to be able to market execute because you don't even have a stop loss, okay? You want to be able to market execute, market order, and sell your position. But guess fucking what? You can't. Why? Because there's so much lag and there's so many people ahead of you in this queuing system. This could go up to down to a 1 million. You don't know how many people trade on there. And the processes on this side, that can go down to like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 processes that need to be done first. And you're like the 10,000 guy in line. And they can't even handle those requests anymore. So then you're just stuck there and you can't do shit all. And that's where all this lag comes from as well. So is this starting to make sense? It's a scary fucking process. I'm sorry for swearing a lot, but man, I used to be in this boat and I didn't understand it at all. But I hope that this really helped you guys, okay? I'm leaving right now. I'm not talking about this subject anymore. It's making me kind of angry because I remember I have videos of myself getting liquidated for like $10,000, guys, back in my days. I'm just kidding. I'm not even upset right now. I just don't want you guys to get into really bad situations where I've got to worry, you know? Because liquidation is a real thing. And when you add fuel to the fire, that's how these crazy wicks happen, okay? Yeah. So anyways, I hope that this video gave you guys a little bit of a perspective when it comes to liquidation, margin calls, and flash crashes. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.